What's going on, guys? Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking us on out. Much appreciated. If you like the Tobin and Leroy show, go check us on out. We got YouTube clips over at WQAM's YouTube page. I'll put that in the description there. Some best of from today's program, all the silly sauce that we got into. And also new Porpoise Pod out. My guy Alejandro Solana and I putting out a new project there. Started up this season. Put it out about 3 times a week. So if you guys could check that out, it'd be much appreciated. So wanted to do a video just kind of diving into Tua's game and what you saw from the Dolphins quarterback. I'll say this just off the bat. Like, first of all, awesome to have him back. Like, if you think about everything that he came back from, how scary it was, seeing him stretch it off the field, seeing his fingers like that, you know, you did probably wonder at some point, like, man, are we going to see this guy again with how scary that hit was? To see him, like, there was a video that they put out on the Dolphins social media of him coming out of the tunnel, and it was Goosey's galore, dude, because it was like it was just dramatic overshot view through the tunnel, and then as he comes out and you see like the crowd there, it was just a beautiful thing to see. And then you thought about like the idea that he come out humming immediately and starts really getting on pace with his offense, really clicking, finding Jalen Waddle down the middle of the field a bunch of times. It just looked so great off the bat. And to come off of that after what had happened was pretty incredible. I thought that was a really nice boost to the team and really felt like it set the tone for the night. Now, you thought those first 3 drives where things are just going perfect for you, that it was just going to continue to flow in that direction. It did not. And then things got a little bit wonky as far as like him throwing up some balls that nearly got picked off. Which I think happened probably about like 4 times. And so, yeah, you got a little bit lucky in that regard that Pittsburgh wasn't able to take advantage of some of the opportunities that he was out there for. Him and Tyreek Hill didn't quite seem on the same page, but also Pittsburgh made some really great plays. That play that was Edmonds down the field where they were going bomb skis to Tyreek Hill. That was a great play by him to break that up from him and Tyreek, who were going for a home run ball. That was really, I would say, the only real home run try that they had all night. But all in all, I think that you saw a guy who it was great to have him physically back out there doing things and being comfortable playing football again. Not quite, playing it safe. I just don't think that he has that in him. We saw the idea of him going out there and was still there was the one play where he slid and was well shy of the line. And then the next time he goes around, like a battering ram trying to take on defenders. And I just think for him, he's got that in him. Here was Mike McDaniel on that.
I mean, it's hard. Was I advising him to do that? I think no. I think he immediately the next series after the first time he did it, he was like, "Coach, I'm sorry. I needed that. I just needed." So I was like, "All right." But it is football, and he's going to protect himself, and he's got that component to his game where he's a competitor and he's trying to get a first down for his team. So I'm never going to totally encourage that at all. I'm probably going to advise him to slide every time, but when push comes to shove and a guy has the ball in his hands, it's gonna be tough to get him to completely turn it down, although I will try.
It's a funny thing because, like, you could tell the coach is anxious just even talking about it, but I just think Tua's got that in him. I think that he has that competitiveness where he does like contact. He does like trying to let things linger. He does like trying to make everything happen at every play, and sometimes to his own detriment. I think that his injuries have been caused by a lot of that. I don't know, though, if as a player you could take that out of him. And you almost wish that he would have, with that 6'6" heart, you wish that he had like the 6'6" body, because he does try and make something out of nothing all the time, or will try and use his physicality or whatever he can. He's a tough guy. He's a tough competitor. And I think that, people came into this year with a little bit of a thought that, he's a nice guy, he's a meek guy and all that. Nah, that dude's got dog in him. He does. And that part was great to see, even though the throws weren't as pretty as the first few drives were, and they didn't stay that way. I still think, look, you got away with it from a win. That was the important thing. Your defense did come through with you late, but they picked them up, and that was a great thing. You can learn off of this, and you don't have to do it off the depression of a loss. So while it wasn't the prettiest win, and by God, we were all falling asleep in that second half. Although I will say I wasn't bored. I was just very scared and nervous because of them not having a 2-score lead. For Tua, I thought it was funny. It was listening to him in the pregame. He was talking to Maria Taylor and said something to the effect of, "Oh, I am keeping receipts. I do take note of the people who are doubting me." And I got to say, as much as I mocked Robert Saleh, the Jets coach, for keeping receipts, I got to say, when Tua said it, I got a little goosies. I'm not going to lie. I did like the fact that somewhere there's a shoebox filled with like cutout tweets from like Finsballs 69 that's saying Tua's never going to make it, or Buffalo Bill, he'll never be Josh Allen. I love the fact that there's like a shoebox. I imagine a shoebox with Tua that just literally has all these tweet receipts, and that's what they are these days, right? Like, I don't think anybody, do you think that he's actually got like, he may have some like cassette tapes of Chris Sims just being a blowhard, but other than that, I think it's pretty much under the Twitter realm or Instagram DMs or whatever goes on there. But Tua, felt great for him to be back out there, and this was him on taking the win and getting some work in.
A lot of things that need to be corrected offensively. Obviously, starts with me, but we'll take the win. We're extremely happy about that. We'll go back to the drawing board
and get it done, man, and get it in the right places, because this is this is a part of the schedule. We've been talking about this. This is a part of the schedule you got to take advantage of. You got the Lions this week and the fighting Man Campbells, and he's going to be out there trying to will everybody with Oklahoma drills and toughen everybody out. I did love the fact, though, as macho and as scary as Man Campbell is, this Mike McDaniel and his balls are just incredible, quite frankly. I mean, he's out there, and he was just explaining his decision to not take the points, which I was very mad at him of. And I don't stay mad at McDaniel very long, because then he explains himself, and I'm just like, you rascal. How can I be mad at you? If you're going to say, he's basically just sounding like, yeah, the analytics didn't love it, but I did. And how am I supposed to hate on that? You got the McDaniel wheelbarrow full of just junk. It giveth, it taketh. And for him to, go out there and say, numbers said not to do it. My analytics guy said not to do it, but I wanted to do it. And I knew that I would live with the consequences. If a coach, this is what the decisions he gets paid to do, right? Like, he's not meek. He doesn't fall back on anybody. He's just like, well, this is what they said. This is what I was told. No. He says, look, I knew if this wasn't going to work out, I was going to face criticism, but I'm okay with that. I had faith in my team in that spot to get the yards and to convert. This guy and his goodwill and his credit, I believe it. I'll believe in him and believe in his method, even if I don't agree with his decision, because he is ballsy. We have seen this with Mike McDaniel. He does not take things. He does not like to go the conservative route. Typically, he does like to take risks. He does like to go chunk plays. What's Tua's number one in yards per attempt right now in the league. This is not a safe offense. Now, the counterpoint to that is, good Lord, do they need to put up some more points? Like, that has to happen. This has been a team that it's been really cool that we've been going out there and we've been seeing them, be very aggressive, and we've seen them chuck the ball down the field. But God, when they get in the red zone, they got to make things happen. Here's McCoachin.
No, there was some, it wasn't one thing. We were doing some good things, and players were doing some solid things, but then there was key mistakes, whether it was a bad play call or it was a guy making a play here or there. We just weren't really coming together. We lacked that rhythm, and especially after we had in the third quarter that first drive that went for it on 4th and 3 in the tight red. Felt like right after that, we kind of hit a lull that we can all learn from, because it was like we got punched in the stomach or something. So it was a struggle to the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. To their credit, they had they adjusted themselves, and we didn't make the further adjustment, which is something that we'll focus on moving forward.
Mike McDaniel's, when he adjusts himself, he's got to use two hands because he's just got giant grapefruits in his pants. It's tougher for him, It's not as easy as it is for everybody else. But either way, they do need to score more points, and they do need to get some. They do need to start lighting that up, and especially you hope they can tighten some of these things up against this lesser competition that they are going up against. But look, a lot of these Dolphin games have been tight no matter what. Their margin for error has not been big. A lot of NFL games aren't, but you would hope that they could get one of these over the next couple of weeks. Just a real complete performance all around from everybody. Maybe we could see one of those real dominant games for the Dolphins, one that is not filled with a lot of stress, because I will say for every one of these Dolphin games, it feels like it has been, other than really New England, it's been dealt with a lot of stress, a lot of angst, and maybe everybody just wants a nice little easy Sunday, because that was a torturous second half that we had to go through yesterday.